Good afternoon, and what is a warm, bright, and sunny day. It is Monday, the 24th of June, and I'm in the reading nook with a nice hot cup of tea. And a box to continue unboxing. And what I've got here is Candela Obscura, the core rulebook. This is published by Darrington Press. In this tabletop role-playing game, join Candela Obscura, a paranormal secret society charged with protecting the Fairlands and its sprawling turn-of-the-century capital known as New Fair from the supernatural incursions. Occult mysteries emerge in this metropolis built atop the ruins of ancient fallen civilizations, still teeming with the remnants of powerful magic. It sounds great. I quite like the sound of that. And we open up credits page and contents page, and we're into the introduction. She's explaining, you entered a gilded world of terrifying magic, explaining what the game's about, what a role-playing game is, just hinting at some of the things that might be going on with that fantastically weird artwork. We've got an overview of gameplay and the rules, which include the rules of the world, rules of magic, and the rules of Candela Obscura. Nice, clearly placed up front where you're going to find them. Not going to hide them away. And we've got a setting overview, a discussion of the roles and specialties, safety tools and touchstones. So essentially, setting overview here. You have roles and specialties, so essentially what the player characters are going to be doing, and essentially tying it to sort of like the attributes, as it were. And then we have safety tools. Touchstones is a list of inspirational media. So yeah, it's really quite nicely open and clear, I think, what it's presenting. And then the core system, which starts off by saying that there's a conversation at the table, which is really what role-playing is. You are. It's just that the conversation is about what's happening in a shared imagination. So, integration of drives and actions, what the setting stakes are, what expectations are, and how to use the gilded dice. The dice I don't have a set for them for Candelabra, which I did, but they really are nice. Okay, and how to make an action roll, and so on. And then we explore the consequences of the roll here, so whether it's a mixed success, a miss, or it succeeds, and so on. And then you can have a discussion of gear, and then consequences might be concluded your marks and scars, which can affect the body, the brain, or the bleed. So that's essentially body, physical, brain, mental strain. Bleed is magical corruption. And then we've got the legacy of harm in horror, which is looking at the genre, at how that works in play. So having discussed sort of like the core concepts of the rules, how it plays, we have the making of a character, how that is constructed. So we are looking at the different roles. So we have face and muscle, scholar and slink, and weird. So these can be further broken down. So the weird includes medium or occultist. There we go, complete with their own tarot cards there. That's a nice touch. The slink includes both criminal and detective. And then we move on to determining the action ratings in basically various skills and so on, drives, basically building the character and adding abilities and so on. These are all being related to the different roles. So you've got listed those for journalist, magician, explorer, soldier, and so on. And this is here where you sort of like allow probably the most customization, because not every soldier or explorer or detective or doctor is going to be the same. And lastly, you add character details and form the relationships between you and the NPCs, well, between your character and the NPCs, and your fellow player characters. And then we go on to create your circle. This is the circle of friends and colleagues who are going to be conducting the investigations. We're answering some questions. These are determined randomly. And then you basically have a chapter house location, choose circle abilities, and the like, and so on. And you assign resource points so that you can recover there and gain other abilities. And we've actually got some example chapter house there details. So some examples which you can either use or take inspiration from. So then we're on to how to play. Play structure, so the opening scenes, the investigation, closing an assignment, really just those 3 steps, but there's also things you can do between assignments. And then we've got play guidance, so play to find out, fiction first storytelling, making choices, and leaving openings, play in good faith, pitfalls of the genre, and communicate, and so on. And then elements here covered include character versus character adjudication, drives and resistances, actions that can be undertaken, gear, and so on. Character circle, character and circle advancement, just because both basically the character and the chapter house and the group can advance, can improve, can be better. We've got a full example of play, and as I always keep saying, I come back to, great, you've told me what to do in the game so far, how does that work out? Then you've got an example of play that shows you, and that gives you some idea of how the game designers think that basically want the game to be played, or how they play it at their table. So this is actually quite lengthy, so you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 pages devoted to that. You've got an idea, suggestion of what to do between assignments. We'll move on to the supernatural world, and some of the hazards and entities and creatures that the player characters will be encountering. This covers creatures and monsters, environments and hazards, spirits and entities. Magic covers alchemy. And then Candela Obscura, this is the secret society at the core of the game. So that's discussed. There's quite a lot of background on the organisation, including other factions or basic sub-factions within it. Like the Exoteric Order of New Sciences or Office of Unexplained Phenomena. So different organisations, perhaps some opposed to the Candela Obscura, some allied with it, sharing plans. You've got a map location of the Fairlands there. And looking at the time period. So the time period in the Fairlands is 1907. So it's post 19th century. It's Edwardian rather than Victorian, and it is basically the equivalent of the Belle Epoque, as it were. So here we've got the timeline of that period. And the history of it, the events of the last Great War, which are basically, so the timeline is not exactly that of our Earth, but we've got full details about the Fairlands and what it's like, technology and so on, transportation, the presence of the ascendancy, which look a bit like the Masons to me with that symbol there. Life in the Fairlands, detailed, some of the buildings, work and play, time and calendar, food and drink, death and mourning, all elements, you know, essentially as the game master, you can help bring into play, build stories around. You've got discussion of the districts of New Fair. Some nice illustrations of these locations, some of the major locations. Section they're dealing with the presence of the she. Well, that's Seidel actually, is a location, not the she. I'm misreading that. And also Old Fair sites. You've got the new new civilization of New Fair atop the old of Old Fair, including there's some dig sites. So, you know, delving into the past is never going to be a good thing. Going to reveal some secrets and strangeness. All the way down to the necropolis. So you've got some fantastically named locations like the Unscathed Alley, of course the Ziggurat, and more. The Bridleborn Mountains, the Glass Sea. These are nicely evocative. In-game, in-world notes as well that help to bring the setting alive. I mean, this is really, you just can't read this, but that doesn't matter. It's sort of like, you know, it's almost like a paper that the player characters would discover and wonder what it says. And here we've got a section for the game master for running the game. Prepare for play and session 0. Creating NPCs, using countdown dice, so on. How to essentially write assignments, the structure them. I like to avoid the one, so you've got an example encounter here. An example session ready for you to use straight off the page. More than one, in fact. So yeah, there's actually quite a nice selection of those ready to play. Then even got further additional assignments and possible GM resources, Game Master resources, additional gear listings, just extra things that can be thrown into the game. Additional inspiration. Got rules reference. And that's it. It's you know, absolutely terrific looking game. Got the index at the end. I think that sounds fascinating. Absolutely adore games kind of set in the period during the 1890s and the Edwardian periods. To one of my favourite sort of like, periods in which to role play. And I think that's going to be an interesting world to explore, which isn't quite ours. So that's Candela Obscura, core rulebook from at Darrington Press. I hope you enjoyed this unboxing of the Nook. If you did, then please do click on the like button down below. And if you've got any comments or feedback, I do appreciate you taking the time to post those. And lastly, if you want to be alerted to get more unboxings of the Nook, where you'll see me out here with a box containing a book or game, or in this case a core rulebook, which I'll unbox and chat about to the best extent of my knowledge for roughly 10 minutes or so, all of course accompanied by a nice hot cup of tea, then please do click on the subscribe button down below. Thanks again for watching another unboxing of the Nook. I will be back again soon with another one. Bye for now.